Welcome back to another episode of JR Takes. As always, Ryan and I are coming at you with the latest Seattle and NFL news, and unfortunately, we are here today not celebrating a Mariners' birth to a World Series. I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that I even have the energy to do this podcast today, but I got a lot of my sad emotions out of the way by just being on my phone, watching all of the aftermath interviews and seeing all the players being sad. And I don't know, that helped, I guess, seeing that they're just as devastated as we are.
It's what made it kind of feel more real to me, honestly. Like when I saw Cal obviously in tears, I was like, fuck, man, like we really were that close, and they know it. Like,
yeah.
You see the interview of Cal, and then someone in the back is like yelling.
Yeah, I did. See
it was
that.
actually Brian Wu. He was being interviewed, and I'm pretty sure it was Julio. It sounded like Julio screaming.
Yeah, I thought it was Julio too.
Brian Wu getting interviewed, and then
and Brian Wu, you see him like stop, and he's like, yeah, there you go. That's how we're all feeling.
But what ultimately do you feel like the legacy of this team is going to be, having gone as further than any other team in franchise history?
And it's just like, that kind of gives me hope that this is going to be like a Seahawks from 2012 doing something about it, rather than just, I mean, baseball's a little different because there's not it's different for so many reasons. There's no salary cap. The players' longevity in the league is a lot longer than NFL players. And I don't know. I just really hope that a year from now we're not, we need to be in the playoffs next year. We have to be. And we can't just let this team sort of fade away and not build on what we did this year. Because if we let players walk and we don't re-sign Naylor, I know Gino is supposed to be a free agent too. I think we have to bring him back. I mean, we got rid of him. We had a down year. There's more to his game than just his numbers. He's a clubhouse guy. He's a vibes guy. We need a guy like that. On the fucking Mariners. We don't have a history of winning anything. So we need a guy like that in our clubhouse to uplift our players when they're all playing like shit. He played like shit the whole postseason, and he had probably the biggest home run in our franchise's history. So we just need to bring back our guys. That's all I ask, because we can clearly make some noise with this group. I do think we need to bring in another utility guy potentially to play the middle infield, and maybe even a left-handed starter. I was so tired of seeing only righties all season. It would have been nice to change things up against the Blue Jays, but point being, just please, for the love of God, don't let players walk and rip this thing up, because I feel like we're only getting started, but it's hard for me to feel that way with this organization's track record.
It certainly is, but I just think of I feel like this season was started, like this momentum was started in 2022 when they had their first playoff appearance, and you could feel that they were building to something. And, a couple of years go by, they have roughly the same record, but it just doesn't shake out the same way. But they took a step this season, and they were, 8 outs away from beating the best team in the American League in a Game 7. Like, clearly the momentum is moving forward with this team. I think you definitely got a good point with Naylor in particular. He was a big boost. That was and you just traded for him a few months ago too. So I think it makes that trade not so good if you just let him walk. It reminds me of like when we traded for Leonard Williams just a few years ago. We had to immediately sign him, and look at how good that's turned out for the other Seattle team. So even right after we lost, I still felt just really encouraged by the season. But to your point, there is no guarantee that that's going to happen that way. And like the thoughts of, man, was that our only chance creep in your head? And it gets dark quick, but
Yeah.
best not to dwell that way. This has been a very the most snake-bitten franchise in MLB. I think it's pretty easy to say that. But I think they're on the way to changing that. You know, I feel like the Mariners are sort of like the Lions in the NFL right now, where you can see that this is a franchise that's changing the narrative that's around them.
Yeah. I certainly hope so. I mean, I thought we were going to go to the World Series at the very least. Just with the different guys that were stepping up all postseason, it was like a new hero every fucking time.
Yeah, like Polanco
and like Suarez, like I said, he was due and he finally got it. And I just really thought that this was like, we had a 3-1 lead. We had already beaten them 3-1 in the previous. I think bringing in Bizardo in hindsight was not the right call. But it's tough to say that because when they made that decision, I was like, Bizardo has been nails all postseason. Like, and because he gave up a home run, we're going to be like, pretend like he hasn't been. Like, yeah, we had Andres Munoz. He's our best reliever and probably our best bullpen guy. We probably should have brought him in, sure. But, like, it is what it is. You have a home run
and it's been talked about a lot, but there's echoes of throwing on the 1 yard line with that decision, just as far as like a coach's decision that, as far as strategy goes, makes sense. But the result of it, you're just left thinking with that forever. And
it's a fair thing to point at because, like I said, Munoz is our best pitcher. Like, you want your best. You want to lose with your best guy out there. And objectively, Bizardo is not our best reliever. And granted, George Springer hadn't seen Munoz that whole series. So it just, I don't know. The loss is so fresh that I just can't really blame our manager for losing that game. But at the same time, it hurts when your best players, Julio and Cal, both hit home runs, you know, doing their thing to propel you to victory, and you still can't get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like the bottom part of the lineup definitely did not show up in this game, like even remotely.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling you before we started the podcast, like early on in the game when we had runners on second and first with nobody out, and JP comes up and he bunts the runners over. In the moment, I'm like, oh yeah, good idea. We can drive those runs in. But then guess who's coming up to the plate? Leo Rivas. Guess who did nothing all game? Leo Rivas. Guess who followed him in the 9-hole? Fucking Victor Robles, who also did nothing. And neither of them did anything all series. So, and then JP after his bunt hits a double. So it's like, why are we taking the bat out of JP's hands and putting it in these two fucking guys who haven't done shit? It's baffling. But again, that's where I think the addresses need to come in the offseason of the middle infield. I think JP's fine. I want to retain him, but
he's a good player.
We need, and Polanco also great at second base, but I don't know. I just bringing a guy in like Kyle Tucker. He was a right fielder for the Astros for many years. Played for the Cubs last year. He's going to be a free agent this year. I'd really like to go out and get him, get another bat in our lineup because got our 7 through 9 were just atrocious all postseason, and the Blue Jays 7 through 9 like dominated us. That's essentially why we lost the series. So I don't know. It's tough to say, but I hope that we can retain our guys and go after others as well.
We'll see. When does free agency really get going in the MLB?
I want to say it's pretty immediate after the season ends, but I'll have to double check that. Colby, maybe you can check on that.
The day after the World Series concludes.
Okay,
yeah.
So in like a few weeks then.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we can, pay our guys first. I think we do a good job of that anyway because we've already re-signed Cal, we've already re-signed Julio. But for the love of God, I guess if I had to choose, I guess I'd rather have Naylor than Suarez. Just Naylor's personality is kind of more, I think, what we need. Just a guy like him that is a no-nonsense, just here to win type of player. Yeah, and he just looks mean.
He's Wario.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
He made some amazing plays at first.
yeah, he's awesome. And if we don't re-sign him, like, I question the organization's drive to win.
We shall see. Thankfully, we didn't have a double disaster night for Seattle sports with, once again, the second game of the Monday night doubleheader, Seahawks and Texans, commencing at 7 p.m. Just as I was saying this weekend, I didn't get home till almost 11. I hate, I mean, you had guys on the East Coast staying up till 2 a.m. probably after that game. It's just, they need to stop this after this season. I hate it. Like,
is it because they made it to week 17 and that's why they have to do these doubleheaders sometimes? Is that why?
I don't know.
No, because they didn't do that the year before last year. Last year was the first time they started doing it.
So is it
Yeah, it sucks.
and stuff? Like,
I think it's just them trying to squeeze more money, because with any decision the NFL makes, you can usually point to that and be correct. But anyways, that aside, the game itself started off phenomenal. I was worried about this Texans defense all week because it's one of the only other defenses in the league that I look at and be like, that might even be better than our defense right now. They're so talented. You know, Will Anderson looks like a Micah Parsons type of player, like that type of impact. And their secondary is insane. But we just moved the ball with ease those first two drives, going up 14-0. You get that safety that bizarrely was overruled. The ref put his hands up to signal safety. Then another ref comes in and is like, "Oh no, forward progress."
This one right here.
Which, by the way,
I have not seen a good enough explanation for me to buy that
also,
that call.
What is up with every single time there's a safety, we have to make up a rule or some shit to why it's not a safety. It's like the forward progress thing is such bullshit to me.
He was running backwards.
Yeah, I just don't understand why all these safeties happen all the time, and then the refs are like, "Oh no, mark him at the 1-inch line. Let's do everything we can to not give this offense a safety." It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
They don't act like that during a normal sack in the middle of the field.
I don't want to spend too much time on the refs in this game because I think they were terrible for both teams. This is an example of them being terrible against us, but I mean, we were clearly offsides on a 4th down play for the Texans that we stopped. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but this crew made this game drag on so long. They were calling everything. It was exactly what I feared, because after we went up 14-0, the rest of this game was fucking ugly. Just a nasty, gross defensive game like you thought it would be. Essentially, the Texans' defense gave them, I would say, 9 points basically all of their points, because they were all off of turnovers or from a turnover. Essentially, the Texans did not have a single drive that started off of a kickoff and ended up in a touchdown. And the Seahawks ended up turning the ball over 4 times in this game. One of them, which was a crazy thing that you were just talking about, where we get the ball off a strip sack from C.J. Stroud. I thought our guy crossed the goal line. I think it was Drake Thomas that had the ball. He fumbles from a great effort play by a Texans player. And then it gets recovered in the end zone, and I guess he didn't have the ball long enough to score, but had the ball long enough to establish possession and then fumble and then give the ball back to the Texans. But because they made that ruling, we accepted a penalty the Texans had committed on that play, so it turned into 2nd and 15. Really strange. But after that hot start from the offense, and once again, Jackson Smith and Jigba, just How can you not say he's not the best receiver in football right now? I know Jamar Chase and Jefferson and these other guys are great, but he's playing better than them right now. He just went up against the best secondary in the NFL and put up, I believe, like 118 and a touchdown.
Well, I don't think he's better than Jamar Chase. I'm just going to say that. Jamar Chase is...
He's playing better than Jamar Chase right now.
Well, sure.
Though.
Jamar Chase has had no one throwing him the ball.
The point remains, he's playing the best at the receiver position
Sure.
in the NFL right now. I don't think he's better than Jamar Chase necessarily, but I
No,
think
Justin Jefferson.
I think
That's a
he's in
different
that
conversation.
tier. Yeah,
I think he's better than Justin Jefferson.
he's JJ has not been as good the last couple of years, I will say. But besides JSN, the offense was just a rough watch in the second half in particular. Sam Darnold, after a really good first 2.5 quarters, had a baffling sack that he took in the end zone to fumble and give life back to the Texans. Granted, he bounced right back and threw a great ball to JSN to just wipe that slate clean and get us back to a 2-score game. But he threw a pretty bad pick. Really, at a point in the game where we were just trying to put it away. We had the Cooper Kupp just mystifying fake pass from a receiver that gets intercepted. I feel like if the Seahawks just score there, the Texans are so demoralized. We're probably not even watching the rest of this game because it would have been 21-0, 17-0. And I just feel like the Seahawks offense gave the Texans 100 chances to get back into this game. Elijah Arroyo fumbling, the running game just getting stuffed up and down all night. I mentioned the Darnold turnover. And then when we get to the late phases of this game, our just complete... I can't find the right word for it, but our lack of willingness to run the ball. It doesn't matter. You're literally playing against the clock more than you're playing against the Texans early into this fourth quarter, and we're still dropping back to pass, and it's not working. You're just letting clock stay on the board. You're not moving the ball. I hated all of those situational calls in the fourth quarter where it doesn't even matter if you get the first down. Just chew some clock off, you know?
Well, also, it doesn't make any sense to me that they would, because, okay, let's say they were just dropping back to pass so much because they felt like we were dominating the Texans so much in the defensive part of our game that we're like, okay, let's just work on a couple plays here and there. Well, the plays we need to work on are running plays.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense to me why we would run or why we would pass, because it seems like we already have that figured out. Mm-hmm. We need to run.
And you're also I know we got the Texans in the first half in the first 2.5 quarters in the pass game, but this is the best pass defense in the league that you're going up against, arguably. And they're gonna wake up eventually, and they did. I mean, I gotta give the Texans credit. That defense was, for the fourth quarter, it was everything I had feared coming into this game. They are relentless. They are good at every level on that defense, and they really kept this Texans team that had no business being in this game alive all the way down till that penalty that they committed for no reason to ice the game. Also, the defense dropped 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter. This is a weird, bizarre game, and I feel like the bye week couldn't come at a better time because I think we're getting a little tired. We've had a lot of guys out for a lot of weeks. Witherspoon and Love did not make it back for this game as we hoped they would. Derek Hall has been out a few games, and we felt the impact of those guys being out a lot in the Bucs game, and then we've kind of survived these last 2. But those are some of the best players on this team, and I think the fact that the Seahawks defense was able to basically just never give the Texans a chance to win this game without those guys speaks to the impact Mike Macdonald has already had on the culture and just the schematic excellence that we're throwing out there.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I never really thought the Texans had a chance, and they looked like just eye test, they looked like they didn't have a chance, like from the get-go.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree at all. I think I was maybe giving them too much credit leading up to the game because I was looking to some more like advanced metrics, and I was like, oh shit, they're actually like the number one overall team, like defensively for expected points and this and that. But I kept looking at the schedule, and I'm like, well, they beat two terrible teams. Like, are they really coming alive? I don't think so. But I don't know. It's just we've been so bad at home, and we still like played pretty bad. Like as far as just penalties and turnovers go. I was worried about just that causing them to somehow lose this game. Thankfully, it didn't. But yeah, C.J. Stroud just basically had no success outside of dump-off passes to Dalton Schultz, which we need to get that cleaned up because it didn't come back to bite us in this game, but it looks so easy for other teams to execute against us that it can't be that hard to fix, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just have a guy run with the blocker that's peeling out to the sideline. If the quarterback runs and gets 5 yards, I can live with that, but
Our run defense was insane.
it's the best in the league.
This series, they like could not get into the end zone.
Yeah, and it's been it's not just a 1 or 2 game thing. Like no team.
That was the play you were like, fucking, why are we throwing?
Yeah, no, that was. This is where I started to scream Kubiak's name and curse it because, like, dude, like, I know it's 3rd and 7. I don't give situationally right here. I don't give a fuck about getting that first down. Okay, there's 4 minutes left. This Texans team is not doing jack shit on offense all game. You have the best punter in the league, arguably. Just take the 2-yard, throw your hands up, hand off to Charbonnet, punt the ball. Texans get the ball back with like 2 minutes and 50 seconds, 3 minutes or so, and we're already starting to wrap this thing up. Hated that. And then on the following series, we basically did the same thing, I want to say, or it was the series before that. But anyways, I don't want to spend this whole podcast talking about how annoyed I was with that sequence because the Seahawks did do a lot good in this game. I know it didn't feel like it, but they did put up decent numbers in the run game against what has been also one of the best run defenses. And no one can run on this team, dude. No one can push this defensive line, led by Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, Jerron Reed. DeMarcus Lawrence obviously is a huge part of that too. He just sets the edge like no other. And Uchenna coming back has been massive for this team.
Yeah, he fucked up C.J. Stroud on
He
that
did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's good that we have a bye coming up too because both defenses were hitting the shit out of people all the way up until the final whistle of this game. Like it just turned into a defensive slugfest for that last quarter, and I bet guys are pretty sore after this game. Also, you had on the Sam Darnold interception, you had JSN take on basically the whole Texans bench and then sit there with the ref like shielding him. I thought that was a hilarious moment in this game. Also got a shout out. I know he took the penalty for it. It didn't end up mattering, but JSN putting the poster dunk on a ref after his touchdown and hanging there that was sweet. I know we took the penalty for it, but I kind of think that's the cost of doing business for a primetime game. Not a lot of people outside of this area care about the Seahawks, and I think out of everything that happened in this game, they're going to remember JSN hanging his nuts all over the Texans. Literally Derek Stingley, like their best player.
Yeah, to be honest, I was moping for like an hour and like wasn't watching a lot of the Seahawks game.
It was a weird
and I missed
watch.
that part of the game. So
I missed that part.
Yeah, maybe
It was being like Peter Parker in Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, maybe you could add the replay of JSN's touchdown in there or something, Colby, because it's pretty sweet. But I'm glad that we get a week off, get to reset. We got no fucking help from the rest of the NFL this week as far as standings go. Like half of the NFC is 5-2. So we got to keep winning these fucking games, man, because there is not an easy ride to the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I was looking at a power rankings of all 32 teams, and like almost all the teams in the top 10 are NFC teams, and almost all the teams in the bottom 10 are AFC teams.
Well, that's just the way, like the
so that's
conferences.
The way it's always been, though. Maybe a little bit more this year, but like the same bottom 5 teams: the Jets, the Browns, the fucking Jaguars,
Dolphins.
the Raiders. Like they also, well, Jags I guess are good this year, but the Raiders, Titans, Browns, Jets, Dolphins.
Every fucking year, they don't get better.
I know.
Like, it's been my whole time watching, essentially, besides a year or two here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I had to say about the game. Had they just not fucked up so many times, we would probably have been talking about this game like we were talking about the Saints game, and we'd be talking about how we look like Super Bowl contenders, and I don't think we don't. We got stuff to clean up is basically all I'm trying to say, and it's great. I think anyone would have taken 5-2 at the bye when they saw our schedule. So we've done virtually everything we needed to do thus far into this season.
I don't know about you, but I feel differently about this team than I did any Geno team we put out there.
I 100%
Do you feel that
agree.
way?
I always thought Geno's ceiling with those teams was like a wild card berth, because that is ultimately what the ceiling ended up being. You know, I know he had a winning year every year for us, but we were 9-8, 9-8, 10-7. I think the floor for this Seattle team right now, even with their schedule, is 11-6, and that was my prediction going into this season. And I thought that was a little bit of a I'm kind of over my skis here, but
I just never really felt like Geno could take us anywhere, personally. And I mean, you add that plus our team is 2 years removed from when we, or I guess 3 years removed from when Geno first started being our quarterback.
yeah, it's been 3 years. Hard to believe it.
I just never really thought we were a legit contender with him. And now that the team around Geno has gotten older and more of a veteran presence, I guess, I do feel like you switch Geno with Sam. I think Sam's just a better player in kind of every facet of the game.
I got to give my praise to Sam Darnold, because he had a bad fourth quarter in this game, but outside of that, he has played quarterback as good as anyone has in Seattle, like including the prime Russell years. I mean, obviously that still takes the cake, but that's how fucking good Sam Darnold has been. He's been arguably, on the whole, the best quarterback if you take the whole 7-game sample size, you know? And JSN already looks like the best Seahawks receiver I've watched. Like, I know, like, each week we're like, oh, whoa, this is crazy. But to do what he did against this secondary was kind of the last thing I needed to see, because I've been feeling like I think he's better than DK ever was, or Tyler, or Doug, because like those are the big three.
Like I haven't really seen him.
He had a fumble in the first game, but I mean, like, he got hit from behind. It's hard to be prepared for that. But just it seems like it doesn't matter what defenses do, he's going to get open. And Sam is evading pressure and finding him and making just 10 out of 10 throws at least a few times a game, to where you're like, I just feel like this is really sustainable. And these guys are in their 20s. Like, they don't cost a lot right now. I mean, Sam Darnold's contract is looking like a fucking Tom Brady contract right now for the play we're getting relative to what we're paying him.
Yeah.
Geno's making more money. Baker's making more money. And I mean, Baker's had a good season too, but look how much Tua's getting played. Look at how much Brock Purdy is getting paid. Like, these guys that haven't shown what Darnold's been showing us the last few games here.
Get paid a lot even to begin with?
It just seems like if you are drafted as a rookie quarterback high and you play good enough to get a second contract, you just get $50 million. That's the way it's been going lately. Like, I mean, CJ Stroud.
Look at Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
He has done nothing to earn his contract, and he makes a shitload of money.
Yeah, even Justin Herbert, who, like, I still think is good, but, like, the Chargers are collapsing. They're 4-3. He just got through 2 picks against the Colts, who don't have a particularly great defense, and didn't show up in what was supposed to be like a battle of top teams. The Colts really controlled that game. He's making absurd money. So it's like an across-the-board thing. So John Schneider, for his many mistakes he made in the later Legion of Boom years, has absolutely been cooking the last 3 years with these drafts and just off-season trades and additions we've made.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to the good, mid, the ugly?
Yeah, let's do it. I know I talked way too long there. Sorry. You want to get going with this one?
Yeah, so for my good this week, I have the Indianapolis Colts, and I put them there because I wanted to put the Chiefs there because I think the Chiefs are back, unfortunately.
Yeah, more on that later.
But I put the Colts there because the teams they've beaten, I heard or I read or something, I saw the list of the teams they had beaten, and I was before the game on Sunday against LA, and I was kind of shocked, like, wow, they've really beaten no one good besides, I guess, the Broncos, who have a winning record, who they only really beat because the Broncos committed a penalty on the final play of the game. And so I was like, all right, this will be the Colts' real test, and they just beat the shit out of the Chargers. It wasn't even close at all the whole game. So Daniel Jones, he's playing pretty good still. He hasn't done anything to lose them games, and they might have, next to the Lions, maybe the best skill players in football. They have Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren looks awesome.
Adonai. He's not that good, but
Josh Downs is good, though.
But it's fun to say his name. Yeah, but they have some good skill players, and I was pretty impressed with because didn't they win by 2 scores?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It was never really a doubt that they were going to win that game once they got off and
the
racing.
Chargers have a decent defense, and the Colts put up 40 on them like it was nothing. So
yeah, no, I this is the week where I push the I believe button on the Colts. You'll see them make an appearance in the power rankings as well. They look really good to me. My good this week is more. It's the whole team, but it's an individual, and it's a team that we haven't really talked about for years. And that's Drake May and the New England Patriots, because Drake May has been playing phenomenal the last 3 weeks.
yeah, I heard he broke the completion percentage record for New England.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he got.
Suck that, Brady.
Yeah, I think it was 91 to Brady's 88.7 or something.
Oh, damn. But that's what I mean. Like, he's not just playing good relative to his age. He's just looking like one of the best quarterbacks in football right now. And this is a really interesting time in the NFL right now, where I feel like there's so many young quarterbacks that have a lot of talent, and then they start to look really good, maybe they regress, and then all of a sudden you have guys that like Darnold and Baker come back and are good. So it's a really interesting quarterbacking era, I think. But Drake May has looked like an MVP candidate the way he's been playing the last few weeks. The Patriots' schedule is as cupcake as it gets. Take a look at it if you get a chance, because you look through that list and you're like, I don't know if there's a loss on here.
Well, a lot of people took them to make the playoffs for that reason. So,
yeah, but I mean, you saw them lose to the Raiders the first game of the season. You're like, there's still in this rebuild. But now that Drake May has found something with his connection to, is it Booty or Boot?
Booty.
And then, you keep forgetting that Stephon Diggs is on that team, but he's there and he's still pretty good. They have something, and it's awesome because since the Chiefs have already lost a few games, like, they might not get a chance to get the top seed if a team like the Colts or the Patriots can keep doing what they're doing with these easy schedules they have.
It's going to be annoying, though. I feel like this season is just shaping up for another Chiefs AFC representation.
I know. Yeah.
Well, Chiefs are gonna be able to get it done.
We'll see. I mean, we're gonna talk about the Chiefs in a little bit. Don't you worry. But my mid this week, fucking Falcons. Like, you're playing the IR 49ers, and you're in a primetime game. The 49ers only get 20 points, and you come out with all those offensive skill players, a top pick, a quarterback, and you get 10 fucking points. So frustrating. This Niners team, they have a net point differential of 7. They have scored 7 more points than they've allowed, and they're 5-2 at the top of the West. It's so frustrating. They should suck, but they just keep somehow finding a way to win these gross, boring games when teams show up and play like shit against them, which the Falcons did this week. I feel like the Falcons are destined to go 8-9 or 9-8, something like that this year. They just beat the Bills, didn't they? Or who
they beat the Bills last week.
Yeah, but I mean, they got blanked by the fucking Panthers. They don't know what kind of team they want to be. They're so up and down.
They're probably the most inconsistent team in the league, I would say, because they look great one week and then they look the opposite the next week, and it's just constantly back and forth.
Which that's a trait of a lot of mid teams. So I think they deservedly get that title this week, and a little bit just because I'm mad at them for losing to our rival.
Yeah,
but,
no, that's fair. I thought Penix was maybe on the rise, and he just looks mid still. But
yeah. And then he'll have a good game out of nowhere. It's
mind-boggling. My mid is the Jaguars. They were a fraud at 4-1. They've lost 2 straight, and not only lost but gotten like embarrassed by 2 teams that are clearly superior in us and the Rams. I just feel like when you compare the NFC West to the AFC South, we are just way better than that. Like, we're way more physical. Every quarterback in the NFC West, as opposed to AFC South, I just think is better. And yeah, the Jags are kind of coming back down to earth, and their days of them leading their division are no longer, because the Colts are going to run away with this thing.
It certainly looks that way, especially when you look at schedules.
Yeah, and just the Jaguars losing 35-7 to the Rams. That right
without
there,
Puka too.
Yeah, that right there just shows you the separation between what a good organization franchise looks like and what a terrible one that looks like.
Yeah.
So.
Can you imagine if the Chiefs were suddenly in the NFC West? I think they would not be getting these first round buys and shit, because they would actually have, like, that's what's so frustrating about playing in the NFC West is your own division is like 6 brutal games every year guaranteed. And then you have these ass conferences in the AFC East, like the AFC South, year after year, that everyone just beats up on and gets their free wins. It's fucking annoying.
Yeah, that's the problem with only having 4 teams to a division. Like, don't you remember when the NFC West sucked?
Yeah.
In, like, the 2000s?
Yeah, there was that stretch where like those mid Seahawks teams won the division with like 9 and 10 wins.
Yeah.
And then we won with 7 and 9. But I swear, since then, the NFC West has been like
really good,
lethal.
Yeah. Yeah. So my mid Jaguars, they suck. I just don't think they're any good. And then the ugly this week is the fucking Raiders having less than 100 yards of total scrimmage yards for the game, and then only getting 3 first downs. Like, what is Pete Carroll doing?
That's a first quarter stat. That's a bad first quarter stat.
Yeah. So it's crazy. I mean, I know they're the Raiders, but Jesus Christ. Like, I thought Pete was going to at least start getting them in the right direction, but honestly, I think their issue is Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator.
I agree.
That guy needs to be fired yesterday.
Well, he's never worked in the NFL. And, I mean...
Yeah, he has. He was the Niners head coach.
No. I don't mean he hasn't been employed in the NFL. I mean he's never functioned.
He's never worked.
Yeah. The Raiders are also my ugly, so let's just keep spitballing on this, because I don't think anyone does. Maybe the Dolphins.
Did Geno throw a pick?
I don't think he threw a pick this game, actually, but he did not eclipse 65 yards passing in 4 quarters. And like, that is, it is so crazy how far he's fallen, and Pete too. Now, it's like whenever anyone leaves Seattle, they are not the same guy. It doesn't make any sense. But, you know, I didn't think the Raiders were going to be even remotely close to a contender this season, but I thought, you know, like Geno had moved the ball very well for us. Like, he was.
This is everything you need to know about the ugly. QBR rating. This is Geno's. 7.7.
7.7 quarterback rating.
67 past 6-7. Sorry. Completions. 10.
He only had 10 completions. Their entire game
He only had
stats.
16 attempts?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
His entire game stats right there are like a decent first drive of the game. And the fact that was for the entire game is insane. That also means that the Raiders' defense is horrible because clearly the Raiders had no chances on offense. But I didn't think the Raiders were even going to necessarily be a playoff team this year, but I thought Pete would make them competitive because he was always making us competitive. And, they don't have the worst record in the league, but they have put out a product that looks as bad as anything in the NFL right now. And it's just kind of sad to see. Like, I love Pete Carroll. That guy can do no wrong in my eyes. And I hope this is just a one-year thing that everyone forgets about. Cause
I don't think it's going to be because they have one of the worst offensive lines in the league. And what is Pete terrible at? Building an offensive line.
I mean, I hope Pete just is like, okay, I'm done. Like, I can't do this. Because
says,
yeah, like, dude, you're, 75 years old? Like,
Ben Belichick, do you know what he's doing in college football? He's ruining his name.
Yeah,
I'm not
Belichick.
saying that's what Pete Carroll's doing. But
no, but I mean, like,
it's like these really
football is not a game. Like, Pete defied the odds for a few more years for the Seahawks and had us competitive into his 70s. The NFL is not a game for 70-year-olds. Like, you get into your 50s a lot of times, and you might start getting outclassed by some guys in their 30s that have, new ideas and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's admirable for him to try to come back and do this with his guy and Geno, but I think they captured lightning in a bottle a couple of years together in Seattle with that pre-established culture that Pete had cultivated for more than a decade at that point. I don't think lightning strikes twice, and I kind of just think the Raiders need to just move on from everything that they did this offseason and for the 50th year in a row start a rebuild because this this operation looks as bad as anyone outside like the Titans right now and the Jets.
Yeah. I personally think I think their biggest problem is Geno because that guy thinks he's like a Kobe Bryant level talent, like NBA player, not NFL.
Yeah.
And he's just never been that. So it's like, why do you think guys in the locker room are punching him in the face? I don't know. I just think the collapse of Geno is not that surprising to me. And it goes back to I never thought we were a real contender with him as our quarterback anyway. And I think the Raiders are fucked.
Well,
I kind of thought that when they traded for him. I was like, we'll see. Like,
well, I think I couldn't have wrapped up that segment any better than what you just said. So how about we dive into the power rankings?
yes. Yeah.
You want to just shoot through yours and I'll go through mine?
Yeah, so I put the Chiefs at number 1 for my power rankings this week, and I didn't want to do that, but at just my core of being a football fan, I just feel like they're back. They just embarrassed the Raiders this weekend. They've won. I think they're on a little bit of a winning streak after losing to the Jags a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they won 2 in a row, I think.
So I just think the Chiefs are, unfortunately, the real deal in a very mediocre AFC this season. And then I believe I put like the Lions, Eagles up there, the Colts at 4, Seahawks at 5. And then everyone after that is kind of, Bucks, Bills. I think I have the Packers in there somewhere. So
the Bills have just like.
And then unfortunately, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I put the Niners at 10. I'm shocked that they're 5-2 with what they have.
I manufactured a way to get them out of the top 10, but they would be like 11 for me.
Yeah.
Like it's at this point, clearly coaching is so important in the NFL that if you have a superior coaching staff, you can get to 5-2 with a bunch of backups at every spot on your entire team. If something happens to McCaffrey, though, like, that's got to be it, because he is the entire show on offense. He's like the 6th leading receiver right now in the NFL as the starting running back. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I believe that. They fucking give him like 40 touches a game.
Yeah, it's like 80s numbers that they're giving him as far as touches go. But yeah, we do not confer with each other when we make these power rankings, but funnily enough, I feel like a lot of times our opinions are almost spot on with each other. I have the top 4 basically the same, except for I have the Rams more or less swapped with the Eagles. I know the Eagles beat the Rams, but I just feel like right now the Eagles, I mean, this is a team that just lost to the Giants. They haven't looked like a Super Bowl team to me at all this season. I had my famous rant about hungry and humble last year. Then they ended up winning the Super Bowl after I did that. So, I mean, I'm not going to count them out. They're still in the top 10. But to me, the Bills and Eagles are in the same place right now where I'm really only putting them this high because of what they've shown me in the past, not because of what they're showing me right now.
Right.
Because both those teams are trending downwards. I have to put the Colts in the top 5. There's no calling it a fluke at this point. I mean, I do think they are overperforming to a degree that they will normalize. Like they're putting up like 38 points a week. That's not gonna keep happening. This is the NFL. Like especially once it gets colder, that's gonna stop. But that doesn't mean they're gonna stop winning. I have the Seahawks, I think, at 5. Do I? Yeah, I know we've had a lot of frustration with this season, but this defense is so good, and Sam and JSN are so good. We're getting 3 of our best players back, and Derek Hall, Witherspoon, and Love after the bye. Robbie Oots, a guy we kind of forgot about, is coming back. And then someone that I completely forgot about that we are going to get back in a few weeks is Riley Mills, one of our draft picks that was fantastic.
Oh, the guy from Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was really good in college.
Imagine if he's as good in the NFL and he gets added to this thing. Like,
that's pretty. I totally forgot about him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's the health that the Seahawks have right now that's really making me think like, okay, if they keep getting this injury luck, like, there's no reason why they can't be a top 5 team this year.
Yeah, because I remember when he got hurt in the college football playoffs, that was like national headline news that Notre Dame is screwed.
Yeah. Like he's a guy that would have been like a day 1 or 2 pick had he not got hurt, and I think we got him in the 4th round. I want to say 4th or 5th.
Yeah, something like that.
But we only got him because of that injury, basically. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. And with that health thing in mind, Mike Evans broken clavicle, and the Bucs kind of seem like they're getting off of that high point they were at. Unfortunately, was against us. So I think if we play that game again, we win by 10 points. Just being honest.
When is Mike Evans supposed to come back?
It's like 6 weeks or something. Yeah.
Broken clavicle? That was the thing Tony Romo broke. That's this.
Yeah.
I don't think you're coming back from that.
He might not come back from that.
I think he's done for the year.
He says he's out. They haven't put him on IR yet. So.
Well, I feel like they always start with like, well, we hope we get him back. And then rounding out the top 10, I mean, some people have the Packers as high as like 3 or 2 in the NFL. I kind of feel like, yeah, they have a lot of talent, but nothing about this Packers team has shown me they're ready to take the next step, in my opinion. They should have lost to the Cowboys.
They remind me of us with Geno, kind of. Like, they just feel like they're in purgatory.
I weirdly know what you mean. The Micah Parsons trade could get them out of purgatory because he's that good. But I just feel like their pass defense, beyond him being amazing, is not that good. They have a bunch of solid. They have like 8 solid receivers, but none. Like, I mean, we have JSN. That's worth 3 Packers receivers as far as I'm concerned this season. So I don't know. I think they're going to be in the mix in this thing till the end. They're number 1 in the NFC right now, but that's only by virtue of their stupid ass tie, which we need to get rid of ties. This is football, okay? Like, this is dumb. And then the Patriots, last team on the list here, really just because of their schedule and how good Drake May is playing, they're going to be in the postseason this year unless they totally collapse. So I think you got to take them seriously in these top 10 conversations.
And I just think that Mike Vrabel's a really good coach.
Yeah, what are the Titans thinking, man?
The Titans have gotten rid of Mike Vrabel, A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, and look at how bad they are right now.
Wow, I have not thought of it that way, but like all three of those guys are like living their best life.
They were just the one
Away
seed
from
not
Tennessee.
too long ago when the Rams
Wasn't
won
it
the Super Bowl.
2021? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they almost beat the
When
Bengals.
the Titans kicked our, what was it? The Titans.
That was
kicked
also 2021. Yeah.
Yeah, they kicked, and they were like, "Oh, this team's fucking good."
Mm-hmm.
Now they're ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that Titans
Good job.
game was like the beginning of the end of like the Carroll Wilson era.
Well, they hired a guy in Brian Callahan that didn't know that an elbow down was the equivalent of having 2 feet down as the head coach of the football team. So I knew that.
That's crazy.
And I'm a fan.
Dude, 12-year-olds know that.
Yeah. Like I think I learned that when I was 12.
Me too, actually. Yeah, 11 or 12.
Yeah.
If anything, younger. But yeah, the NFL is really interesting this year. It's certainly like a lot of teams that you thought were going to be good week one are fading. A lot of teams you thought would be shit, like the Colts, are superior. It's a fun season this year. It's not fun that the Chiefs are at the top of both of our power rankings, but we try to be objective here, and they just look like the best team right now.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of season left. Plenty of time for, injuries to happen to derail teams, but yeah, it certainly is looking like the Chiefs are back, and I hope something will happen to derail their season because I just can't watch another Chiefs Super Bowl. I can't watch another McDonald's colors. I'm just getting so sick of yellow and red.
Yeah, it's really been like 7 years of this because they've been in the AFC Championship since 2018. And,
Yeah.
I see no reason to think they won't get there this
Dude,
year.
it makes me
but-
want them to restructure the divisions or something.
Yeah.
Like put the Jets and the Browns in the NFC. See how fucking switch them out with I don't know.
Even like the Giants being in the AFC would change things because they've looked a hell of a lot more competitive than half the AFC this year. And they're
Yeah.
one of the worst NFC teams.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's essentially all I got for this week. We'll probably do another episode next week, following the bye week, I imagine.
Yeah, just kind of wrapping up some games. Last thing I wanted to bring up, we talked about it before the show, but we had Russell Wilson clapping back at Sean Payton in a way that I've never seen him speak in 13 years of paying relatively close attention to the guy. Sean Payton in a press conference today threw a little shade at Wilson, just the fact that he was benched more or less. And these two fucking hate each other. I don't know what Russell did to make Sean Payton hate him so much because he clearly hated him early on when he was his quarterback. But Wilson, a guy who famously has never said a word about all the stuff Sherman and all these other players have said about him. The media ripped it on him for a whole year in 2022. He, just kind of took it in stride and, still played bad, but didn't go low, so to speak. But
Yeah.
Sean Payton drew the ire of Russell Wilson in a way that has basically never happened today.
So what did Sean Payton say?
I don't have the whole quote in front of me, but more or less he was taking a jab at Wilson for getting benched. But this was Wilson's response to it, if you want to pull it up.
Class. Yeah,
Classless but not surprised. And then, brings an old throwback of the Bountygate scandal from 2009. And then, honestly, sealing it with Let's Ride, I was like, okay, I didn't know you had that in you, Russ. Because clearly there's a level of, awareness of your own memification here that you're like, yeah, whatever, I suck now, but fuck you.
That was also only posted 3 or 4 hours ago.
Yeah, no,
And it has 55,000 likes.
I had to check it to see that it was real because I was like, Wilson doesn't talk this way. There's no way that it's real. And
Yeah,
then I
that's
go to
crazy.
his Twitter and there it is. So it's like,
Dude, he's got nothing to lose. He's a fucking backup in
dude,
New
and
York,
like, you know,
fucking-
like I hope Russell just is a backup for a few more years. Maybe he gets a few spot starts and has another good game here or there. But like, you're done. You're almost 40. You're a mobile quarterback. You've lasted longer than most mobile quarterbacks. Just talk your shit on the bench, dude. Make your money. You got so much money. Like, you don't need to try to win another fucking Super Bowl. It's just not gonna
Do you
happen.
think he would go into like media or not?
I don't know. It's really hard to think what post football Wilson will be up to because
I feel like he's like too much of a man of faith to do that.
you think so.
Like
You think
he's
he might
too
just
much of a son
become
of
like
God.
a televangelist or whatever, like the televangelist.
He just
The
might just be like, all right, it's time to be a father.
Yeah, or he's gonna make his own YouTube channel and be like, "Hey everyone, Russell here. Boring, yeah, Russell here."
Well, yeah, he could. I know this is such like a Travis Kelce doing that, but it's like he could just start a podcast.
I'm pretty
and-
sure he has one actually. I don't know if he still does
'cause, like,
it.
He's still like he could get anyone on that thing, and like I would be way more interested in listening to that than fucking Travis Kelce.
Hey, if he's bringing this energy that he has in
Yeah,
this
let's
tweet
get-
just for the rest of his life, and he's
Russell.
finally done being Mr. Politician, I would listen to every word of that because you're telling me you don't want to hear his side of the story of what the Legion of Boom locker room was like,
I would
and
love
like
to listen to
just an unfiltered,
get out of the league and just talk, don't talk shit, but like
just be real, like.
Yeah,
And I do think a lot of the phoniness with Russ is him, but this is making me think that there's more under the surface and like maybe people are right, like maybe this has just been a front for a long time.
yeah, it's certainly possible.
Anyways, that was all I had on that, but this just happened like 2 hours ago, so I thought it'd be fun to talk about on the podcast. Also, fuck Sean Payton. The guy's a fucking douchebag.
I agree. I've always hated him ever since he wore. Really, ever since he wore a fucking visor on TV while he was wearing a suit, I was like, what the fuck? And then he's just started being a dick, like, everywhere. So I was like, oh, fuck him.
I'm so glad the Seahawks owned him while he had Drew Brees. Like,
Yeah, he, like, never beat us.
yeah.
In, like, any big game, he lost. It was pretty
Yeah, in
awesome.
2013, that was supposed to be like the game of the year when the Saints came to Seattle, and they got fucking just their ass whipped. I still think about that game, and when
Yeah, 'cause-
Michael Bennett got the pick six.
And wasn't it, like, a strip sack? Too?
Oh yeah, it was a strip sack, but it like went right to Bennett.
Yeah.
Scores.
Good times.
Always remember those days. Anyways, that's all I had for this one, but
Yep. Yeah. Hopefully we can just keep winning in the football department, and 6 months from now we can get hyped for. Well, I guess it's more like.
that's what.
Yeah, it's more like 6 months
Yeah.
for baseball to start up again.
And, if nothing else, this season got me way back into baseball, and I learned a lot about the sport, so I feel like 2026 I'll be able to contribute more to the Mariners segments.
Yeah, and hopefully because we have the same team entering the season next year at least, so we can just hit the ground running, have a division lead, and keep it the whole year. Because I don't even know if we've ever done that. So
Yeah, it took to the very last few weeks this year, so.
yeah. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and we will see you later.
Yep, see you next time.